It just blew my mind. So in Islam, there are different spiritual levels, right? So fearing Allah is seen as the beginner levels, have different maqamat, right? Which is sort of lower vibrational state. And what's amazing is that you have modern neuroscience that is actually showing the same thing. So someone like Dr. R. Hawkins, who is a psychiatrist and a researcher, he calibrated over 250,000 people using, and he did this study over like 25 to 30 years, where he did use technology to see, for muscle testing and brain to heart data. And he discovered sort of this scale from 0 to 1,000. And each level, it corresponded to sort of emotion, behavior, and even physical health. Now, levels that were sort of, under 200 were ego, fear based, and survival mode, right? Which happens to a lot of Muslims that are operating in that very fearful, shameful, resentful, angry state. Whereas levels over 200 were more in line with sort of presence, love, and healing, right? So the lower level, which was shame, guilt, and anger. And then you had the higher levels, which was love, peace, and enlightenment. And what's fascinating is your perception of Allah also determines how you are feeling. So when your perception of Allah, he proved, is punishing, right? Well, then you are most likely operating in a state of fear, mostly. Or if it is Allah, Allah is vengeful, then most likely you are operating in sort of an anger state. Whereas when you view Allah as most loving, well, at that particular point, you are operating in the place of love. When Allah is, present, then all of a sudden you feel constantly, and he could test this with his technology, present. Now, enlightenment is that there is nothing that exists but Allah. At that particular point, you are sort of at the highest level. Now, what's fascinating is, there are different maqamat that are taught in spiritual teachings in Islam, which say exactly the same thing. So you have, for example, someone like Ibn Arabi, you have Imam al-Ghazali, rahimullah, and it's that you are traveling, and you should aim for traveling beyond each spiritual stages, where the early stages, for example, that is tawbah, which is repentance from guilt and shame. Again, lower levels of faith, beginner levels. Lower levels, let's call it beginner levels, right? Then you have khawf, which is fear of hell or fear of punishment. Then you have raja, exactly as Dr. R. Hawkins talks about. This is mind-blowing stuff. I hope this you understand how crazy it is. Then you have raja, which is that desire, which again shows in accordance with Dr. R. Hawkins' results, right? And then you goes up, right? You have things like tawakkul, like trust, or rida, contentment.